All right, so we have Quincy Owens in the building. How you doing, boss?
Honor to own up. I'm doing lovely. Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
I'm blessed. Appreciate you coming through, sliding through, chopping it up with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Nah, it's all love. So, before we even, talk about music and stuff like that, let's just do a quick temperature check. How is Super Bowl weekend? How is your Valentine's? Like, break that down.
Oh, man, my heart was broken, but it's not because of Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? Bengals, who they? Still Bengals for life, but, lost some money on the Bengals. Looks like Las Vegas had a call into the Super Bowl to LA a little late, but, we take losses. We'll get it back. Shout out the Bengals. Shout out Aaron Donald from the Rams. He deserves everything, though.
Yeah.
It's a man right there. He pulled it off. But I had a good weekend regardless of the loss,
Facts. Sometimes you got to take L's and learn from them, you feel me? Hopefully next year they come back stronger and bigger, you feel me?
100%.
Good. So, let's talk about your name, Quincy Owens. Like, that's a pretty unique name. You don't really hear, like, even similar names. Like, the only similar name you'll hear is, like, Quincy Jones or something like that. So how did you come about that name?
I could tell you, the real story was, like, my name used to be Biba Boy. And I bet a strike, a lucky strike one day, that I was gonna get a strike, and essentially I had to change my name because I'm pretty sure it was a gutter ball. You know what I mean? But I was always running with this saying called own it or own up. And that's basically kind of theory of my life. So my real name's Quincy, and Quincy Owens, because drop the J, and it's Quincy Owens. And that's just what it is. Like, I dropped the J because at the time it wasn't spoken J's, only blunts, but it's own it or own up. And basically what that means is, like, for the most basic terms, it's like if you don't own the car and you rent it, there's not a problem with that. You just have to own the fact that you rent, like that you're renting it. So it's own it or own up to it. And that can apply in any facet. Like if you're ashamed of something, you should be owning up to it. You have to own it, you know what I mean? So it's own it or own up. That's what it is.
Facts. I see you on your Nipsey Hussle vibes, all about ownership.
Yeah, real shit. Yeah, real shit. That too applies to absolutely everything, everyone and everything.
Facts. So let's talk about your upbringing. Where exactly are you from within the city?
Within the city, I'm from Ajax originally. Moved around Pickering, Scarborough, Markham. But I went to high school, like elementary school, high school, Ajax, Pickering High School, East End.
All right. So me personally, I'm from the West End. And there's probably people that are from out of town that have never been to Ajax or never, like, rode around those areas.
Yeah.
So for someone like me or for someone that's from out of town, kind of describe that area and specifically you growing up during those times in that area.
I'll describe Ajax specifically, but Ajax is a very interesting place. Like, I kind of took it for granted when I was younger, but essentially it's a suburb. Middle to lower middle class. It has a very big minority population. Like in Canada, actually, black people per capita, Ajax is the highest percentage. So it's actually it's very unique in that facet as to you get to experience a certain type of life, but you don't feel much of a minority. Like in elementary school class, white people were the minority. Like, not to say it was all black people, like there was Indians, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, people, Pakistan, Afghanistan, but it's just like, there's a lot of things that go on in the world and we didn't necessarily get to see it that way because we were privileged enough to be in Ajax of itself, but fun, safe if you know what you're doing, you know what I mean? You get to learn, play basketball, football, soccer, just a great experience all in all. Deal with the women, it's a great experience all in all.
All right, so in regards to, like, that area of the city, is there a street element to it or is it just like safe and sweet?
100% there's a street element because a lot of people, for example, like my parents would talk about, because we were there since I was like literally like 4. My parents would talk about, because I have an older brother, like a lot of people coming from Scarborough, Toronto, like they're looking to get their kid out of the bad school, not knowing their kid was the reason that school was bad. You know what I mean? So they would come to Ajax, and now that person is having this effect on some of the kids that's now in Ajax Pickering, mixed with everything that they're seeing on the news and stuff like that. And now some of these people are now engaging in street activities. I know a lot of car theft was big. Drugs are gonna get sold. People are gonna get robbed. Like, there's nice houses, so home invasion was definitely gonna happen. But it's not like, there's definitely a seedier side, if you will. For sure.
Okay. Speaking of Ajax, like, where were the spots that you'd go out to chill and hang out and be like, you know what, mans are going here just to kick it and just catch a vibe? Like, where were those spots where you can be like, all right, we're going to this club or we're going to this restaurant or we're going to this nigga's little spot and that's the vibe? Like, did you guys have spots like that or not really?
There are certain spots based on like the time and the generation, the era, right? Sometimes we go to Pickering Town Center. It'd be the movie theater in Ajax. It could be like McDonald's parking lots is super big in the East. Like you pull up on a Friday night, 1 o'clock, you're bound to see like Bear Johns, like just chilling in their car, balling up, doing different things, interacting. I used to go to this Chinese food spot called Blossom Gardens. Shout out y'all. You know what I mean? But there's a few different spots. It's like different people had their different spots, but because it's so spread out and it's not as dense, sometimes you just chill in the basement or you chill in someone's backyard or you chill at like whatever your local spot is. McLean Center as well. Gotta give it to McLean Center still. But yeah, people definitely had their difference. Like someone's watching this now probably from Ajax, be like, nah, what are you talking about? We used to go to, yeah, but like people had their different spots. But
I hear that. I hear that. All right. So, we spoke about Ajax. Let's talk about your household. Like, what's your background?
Both my parents are Guyanese.
All right. And describe growing up in that Guyanese environment. How did that shape you?
It shaped me a lot. Like to be honest with you, like my parents, like I give it to both my parents. Like my mom was there, my dad was there. They both really shaped exactly who I am. Like my character, my morals, my values, my decision making. They really drilled it in me, but I wasn't the hardest head to drill in. Like you know what I mean? Like it was just a good experience all in all. Like they really explained things to me properly, so I wasn't always wondering why. This is because of this. So now I get it. So I'm going to listen for the most part. Obviously, sometimes I'd be a little troubled, but for the most part, I would listen, and it was great. Roti and curry, pepper pot, bacon, saltfish, all of that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, fantastic. I got to give them like a 9 out of 10.
Facts.
Sure.
Facts. So let's talk about inspiration and growing up. I know you had a bigger brother.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a couple people that you looked up to coming up and kind of showed you how to maneuver through the streets and, show you right from wrong. So, can you highlight those people that were in your life that kind of put you on game?
I got to give it to my dad and my brother. My dad, because he told me very young, which carried on to now, and I'll carry on forever. Like, he basically said, like, if you're a certain way and someone else isn't, that doesn't mean you have to completely, like, cast them away. You have to know where to keep certain types of people. And he actually showed me examples of that in his own life. Like, he would let me know, like, there's certain people that, because we used to go to the soccer field a lot, because the Guyanese community had, like a soccer league. So we go, they drink after and stuff like that. All the kids and stuff would play. But there's certain people I would see that he's super friendly with at the soccer field, but they never came to the house. So it's like that really played a part in my growing up, knowing where to keep people. And then with my brother, he taught me more. He taught me a lot more of like what you were talking about before, the streets in terms of like the East End and stuff like that. He taught me what to do, what not to do. Told me whether I should experiment, whether I shouldn't experiment. Mm-hmm. He definitely, like, because he went through the whole rigmarole, right? So I got to see it. I got to see a third person from him, and I learned even when he wasn't trying to teach me sometimes.
Facts. Let's jump into music. When did music become something for you? When did it become something that you were interested in, and when did you start taking it serious?
Taking it serious 6 years ago. But starting it, like I record, like me and one of the NuAnce members, Louis, we recorded in grade 7. So that was 2006. Mm-hmm. So I was like, around 15, 16 years ago, whatever the math is. We recorded like 3 songs together. 3 songs together, but that wasn't serious. That was literally like recording on the recording thing on a PC with one of those like web mics. But 6 years ago, me, Remy, Louis, and Touch got into the studio. That's NuAnce right there. We got into the studio and we made our first tracks in like an official studio, started getting it mixed and stuff. It wasn't sounding the best at first, but the engineer was also coming up, but 6 years ago for sure.
Facts. And, those first songs, What was the inspiration behind it? Were you sounding like other artists, or were you still trying to figure out your sound? Like, break that down.
Those first songs was kind of the exact sentiment that we've always felt. Like the first two songs, I may be wrong, but I always knew, and they don't understand. And like that's kind of like the ethos to like what we do to this day. Like, cause I always knew I always knew something's gonna bust, something's gonna go. There's something special. Like we just look at stuff different. Like when we're seeing certain things going on and other people are talking about it, they're clearly seeing it from a different perspective, right? And that's also where they don't understand comes in. So it wasn't necessarily artists that influenced us. It was kind of there's like an inner burning fire that really like catapulted us to make us go to the studio because we've always flirted around with it. I had like a freestyle in grade 12. It was sell off, like, you know what I mean? Like at a party or some shit, but like it wasn't serious, but that really like catapulted it for us.
Okay. So, let's jump into like your sound. Like, when I listen to your music, it's very distinctive, it's very unique, especially the delivery. Like, when I hear a Quincy Owens song, I know it's Quincy Owens. And when it comes to your music, you're also someone that does like high level bars, like you're a lyricist and stuff like that. So, talk about that a little bit and how did that come to be? Like, what made you kind of delve into like high level bars, consciousness, and that distinctive flow that you have?
Thank you very much. It's one of the greatest compliments I can get when someone says like I sound like me. And thank you very much. But it's just kind of rap that I've liked, that I've engaged in. I like the ignorant shit. Like I like all of it, the turn up stuff. I love it. You know what I mean? But really, I'm rapping because I actually have something to say, right? So it's not really about trying to be like the next person because they're lit. And like I have something to say. Like I'm trying to be like, essentially why I'm doing this rap stuff is I'm trying to create a cliche. I'm a concept connoisseur. I want my words to live on longer than I do. So I have to put it together like it's never been put together before. So that's what I'm trying to do. Like obviously there's nothing new under the sun, but I have to keep swiping at it until I get that thing that's new under the sun, until I can create the Big Bang. You get me?
Facts.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about, we talked about your sound. We talked about, what you're trying to achieve with, your music living longer than you do. How about the ignorant music versus your sound, like the conscious, high-level bars? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like there's a space for that to thrive, especially within the Toronto scene? Because, like, let's be honest right now, what's thriving is drill music, op music, dissing on dead homies, and stuff like that. So, where does your type of music live within that kind of environment?
It doesn't even necessarily need to live within the environment, but it can live within the environment if people choose to listen to it. In terms of the Toronto scene, I'm gonna be pretty blunt, and people know that. Toronto scene doesn't like music. You know what I mean? They like influence. They like politics. They like, we all know this, you know what I'm saying? And we're all somewhat, what is it? If you're not part of the, can't think of the word, but if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem type of thing. We're all part of it. I love the music. I love those niggas. You get what I'm saying? But it's not the music that's actually at the forefront. So for me, I'm here to present something else. Like people are always complaining. I'm not complaining when I'm saying this. I know that that's the case, but I'm not complaining. I'm presenting something else. So if someone wants something else, they can choose that. If they don't like that, they can choose something else. You get what I'm saying? But there's a space for everybody to create music, and I'm just doing my part. Instead of complaining, I'm creating the content that I would like to see in the world and in the universe and in the city.
Okay. So when you do go to the studio and you're vibing, you're chilling, you know what I mean? You're in your zone, what's your creative process?
It changes from time to time. I do like to go to the studio prepared. I'm much more of a writer. I really want to put it together like perfectly. Like that's how I like perfectly for me. Like, you know what I mean? But there has been times go to the studio, we vibe out, try to write something quickly. But it usually navigates around writing. Like, so if I loop the beat, we'll loop it for 30 minutes, whatever. And we'll try to get something down, and then someone else will jump in, then I'll jump in. But for the most part, if it's not that, it's me writing on road, writing at home, writing in the car, wherever, and I bring up my verses, and I'll record over either new beats or beats that I knew I was gonna record over.
Facts. So, I was kind of going through your catalog and stuff like that, and, one of your most recent, songs is Cabo, and the song that you did with Mac Dizzle called Dolly. So break down how both of those songs came about.
Cabo was a song that we actually did that a while ago. I'm not gonna lie, now that it's out and all that. We actually did that a while ago. And we were trying to get rid of, not get rid of it, but we've had it for so long, we liked it, and we kind of forgot about it. So I'm like, nah, let's put this out, let's do it. Me and Louis work all the time. It's like nothing for us to work. It's like water. If he does something with the verse, I could put the verse in or hook or whatever, vice versa. With Mac Dizzle, I actually recorded a song that I wanted him to get on. And if he's watching, I'm pissed because he didn't get on the song. But then he invited me to the stew, and he's like, yo, you like this? I'm like, yeah, I like this. I'm a fan of Mac Dizzle. I have no shame in admitting when I'm a fan of somebody. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even though I know him personally, he's a good rapper. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get on it. So he was almost done. His project was super close to being done, his project. And then he told me I only have a couple days to get it done. So I got it done in a couple days, and then boom, we got it, Dolly.
Facts. So let's talk about some things that are going on within the Toronto music scene. Let's start off with one of the most talked about, topics. Bushman recently did a freestyle. A lot of people are talking about it. Northside Benji did a freestyle a while ago, and people are trying to compare, saying, which freestyle is better, whose freestyle is more wiped down. So what are your thoughts about that?
They both killed it still. They both killed it. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I watched the Bushman one, I wasn't taking it in fully. But then when I listened back to him, I'm like, whoa, this guy, he really went into his soul for that one. But they're two different kind of freestyles on two different kind of platforms. So I hate to give this answer because I hate when people give this answer, but it's apples and oranges a little bit. It depends on what you like better. Because, yeah, it depends on what you like better, because one is more performative and one is more content-driven. And both of them are 5 stars in those respective categories. So I got to give it to, for me, if I have to pick one, I'll go a recency bias and I'm going to take Bushman still.
Okay. Shout out to Bushman. Let's talk about top 5. There's a lot of talk about top 5 and, free up top 5, by the way. Mm-hmm. He's been locked up and the city hasn't been the same. A lot of people are saying that he kind of left a void in the city. He kind of made the city a little bit more entertaining and stuff like that. Yeah. So what are your thoughts about that whole situation?
Definitely freedom is a must. First come, first serve. Freedom is a must. That goes back to the point of what I'm talking about is people in the city don't like music. You know what I'm saying? I was watching, again, I'm part of the problem. Don't get it twisted. But people in the city don't like music. Because what he would, yes, he dropped music, you know what I mean? But what they're missing is the mix-up. Whether it's the political mix-up or just the fuckery mix-up. The fuckery mix-up is funny, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But some of this political mix-up, and it's just is that what's entertaining? Yes, that's what's entertaining. But there's other means of being entertaining too. And there's people in this city that's trying their best. Mm. They have their runs, but they don't know how to, I like to call the characters in the city. I'm not talking about top 5. I'm talking about the comedians. Mm. You know what I mean? Who the Instagram figures. Mm-hmm. They're characters. They have their run, but they don't know how to take it to the next level. Is that them not knowing how to take it to the next level, or is that the city not properly being able to consume their content? And it's only it's weird because city entertaining, what does that mean? What does that actually mean? Because if you look at what, to be quite honest, what Keeps It Solid is doing right now, mm-hmm. He kind of rejuvenated that entertainment, if you will. But what is the entertainment is the question. Is it the mix-up? Is that what we're talking about? Because if that's what we're talking about, we should just say that instead of saying entertaining. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean by that. But freedom is a must, though. You know what I mean?
Okay. In regards to unity and kind of making the scene a little bit more palatable and more friendlier. I was listening to that Keep Six Solid Clubhouse chat, and Bushman said something that was pretty interesting, where he has a track called, I think it's called Trapping in the 80s, and he brought this idea where he wanted like rappers from the city to like be in the video, do cameos and stuff like that. Do you feel like that's something that's feasible, or nah, just due to the politics and egos and everything that's going on within our city?
It's not feasible based on that question but on his song. They want him to be in a cameo on his song?
Yeah, so he has a song, he's doing the video, and he just wants to, invite them just to, come and do the cameo, show love, and show the city that, we're together, we're trying to push the scene to the next level.
That would be fantastic, because what that would do, even if everybody just bit their tongue or bit whatever, kept their shit in their car, whatever, like, it would show even the labels and stuff like that, these guys aren't just savages. Like, it's step in the right direction. In terms of if it's feasible, I don't know if niggas are gonna be about that. Like, you know what I mean? Especially if it's just his song. Like, I get where he's coming from. I get the sentiment. Like, I rate it fully. I wish it could happen. I would love to see it happen, even if it's not everyone, because you can't get everyone. But and it doesn't even have to be opposing blocks. It can just be blocks that don't have no problem with each other, but they're not, just a bunch of people. I feel like it could happen. And I hope it does happen for him. Still, I hope it does happen for the city as well.
Facts. So, let's kind of switch gears here and talk about, females. Like, I don't know, is your situation right now? Are you single? Are you mingling?
I'm single. I'm as single as can be.
Okay. And, in regards to the females from the city, what's your views on that? Man say sometimes they go out of town, they get more love from the girls out of town. Some girls say, Toronto men don't know how to treat them properly and whatnot. So, what's your views about that?
Toronto as a whole has this weird complex, yo. Like, we have this superstar complex. Like, everybody's a superstar, yo. Like, real shit is like, I hear the girls say the shit about the niggas. I hear niggas say the shit about the girls, but it's on both sides. It's on both sides, yo. Like, everybody's a superstar and everybody feel like they deserve the better. I don't know where it came from, but like, Toronto really is bougie. And like, I've heard people from outside the city say that. Like, oh, they're stuck up. It's like, yeah, but yet we all give love to, like, we see a girl from somewhere else, we're like, oh yeah, and then they see a guy from somewhere else, oh yeah, and it's just like, we don't have to be like that, but it's the superstar complex. I don't know, it's like the Screwface capital turned into superstar complex. You know what I mean?
Nah, I hear you still.
That's what I would say.
Facts. Let's jump back into the music and stuff like that. So, you've been putting out music, you've been doing your thing, you've been shaking and moving. What's the next steps? Like, where can we see you, like, end of year 2022? What can we expect? What do you have for the people?
There will 100% be a full-length project out. Full-length, when I mean full-length, I'm gunning for it to be at least 45 minutes. So it's gonna be a full experience. But till then, I actually will be dropping at least a single with or without videos, but mostly with videos every month, and freestyles as well. And I'm gonna be a little bit more on social media, because I know I'm not the best user of social media, but I'm gonna try to be more engaging, just be more out there a little bit, but the music will be there. Because one thing is, like, it's gonna have to be about the music one day. You get what I'm saying? And we'll be here. And so I'm gonna make sure that I'm always here with the music. There will always be some nice quotables that you could get from Quincy NuAnce. So every month, singles and videos, and then there will be a project probably summer or the fall.
Okay, any titles?
The project, as of right now, should I give him the name? I'll give him the name still, right? As of right now, the project is called Verbatim.
Okay, features?
I haven't decided yet.
Number of videos?
Sorry?
Number of videos?
At least 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hold myself to that one. At least 3, for sure.
Nah, we're all looking forward to it. We all appreciate your music and whatnot. At least, say something to people. What should they look out for? What should they expect? What should the fans kind of listen to when it comes to Quincy NuAnce?
All right, new single. It's out now. OA Freestyle. Life's Work is out as well. Go listen to my boy Mac Dizzle's tape. I'm on there. It's just gonna be a lot going on. Check the NuAnce. Shout out Remy. Shout out Louis. Shout out Touch. Shout out C. Shout out all my people. You know what I mean? And we're just going to keep this going. You know what I mean? We're just going to keep it going, keep it flowing, and make sure you're staying positive and being productive. Stop bad-minding people and stop watching what other people have. Your time will come as long as you're staying positive. It's facts. I wanted to own up. Check the nuance.